Jagannatha. It is game 2, and for, I don't know, some reasons, it's been ages since I actually casted game 1. I haven't even put it on Tube yet, so yeah, I can't really remember what happened in the first game. I can't quite remember. But anyway, this is definitely the second game, and I just checked. Exeter MS, CrimsonTide did win the first game. So let's see what we're going to get from these pair. We've got SpaceLobster looking very, very standard. Depot, racks, gas, all good. Crimson looking very, very standard. Depot, racks, gas. So doesn't look like anybody's up to anything absolutely filthy or disgusting. I am kind of wondering when I'm going to see a cyclone rush. That is very much. I've seen some interesting, sort of videos of people abusing the kind of new, cheaper cyclones. I've also seen some interesting replays of people crushing cyclone pushes too. So I don't know. Just because it's new, is it better? It's hard to tell. I think it's going to take a while for the dust to settle on that one, and we'll find out whether or not they really have been nerfed or whether they've actually been buffed. We'll see. For the time being, though, we're definitely seeing some people just like move out with a million cyclones, and that's all right. You know, we'll see. We'll see what people start to, you know, people will find ways to deal with it more and more efficiently. It'll probably fall out of fashion pretty sharpish, but for the time being, it could definitely cause some headaches in the EMS league. These builds are remarkably similar. So we've got 3 racks factory. We've got 3 racks. Oh, I say that, there's no factory here. Double tech lab with upgrades coming in, combat shield stim. But no factory is kind of weirding me out a little bit. The timings on the expos are not wildly dissimilar, but I feel like SpaceLobster's is perhaps slightly ahead, or at the very least he's got more workers mining at this stage. And SpaceLobster's is already an orbital. Crimson looking to move out. Not sure why there's an SCV with this bunch. I feel like maybe that SCV shouldn't be there. It doesn't have a clue what's happening. It's like just, you know, I want to be a soldier. No, you're a miner, but I want to be a soldier. So a little bit of a poke. Ooh, I don't know about that move forward. That looked painful. For a second there, I thought a little bit of a poke and then run away. Yeah, just the ticket. But then, for whatever reason, Crimson sort of turned around and ran into a wall of machine gun fire. It didn't really pan out that well. So let's see how these guys do. The Marines not in the bunker. If they were in the bunker, they would have lasted a little bit longer. But has Crimson actually got enough to deal with this? There's no tank yet, but this one is about to appear. And should it siege up, you would think that Crimson can prevent this from getting any further. But she has already lost her natural. So if you're SpaceLobster, you can just leave this stuff here and not really worry about it. Just stick this on hold command and just expand to a third and continue teching up, knowing that your opponent has got the work to do. You know, they've got to bust out of their own ramp. Now, Exeter MS is building CC on the high ground. I like that a lot. Scans going down, and you know, I've mentioned this before. Siege tanks can shoot further than they can see. And that's why when the scan went down, this tank started to open fire. So yeah, Crimson can get a tank in range of this one, and should be able to snipe this one and this one, I think. And SpaceLobster a little bit slow to pull it back. But SpaceLobster with this medevac could fly the medevac forward and give his tanks vision of what's happening here, and you could put a tank around here as well, a couple of tanks here, load some Marines into the medevac, and you can be pretty obnoxious with that sort of play, or even creep the tanks in here and just elevate the Marines up onto the high ground, and it is difficult. So SpaceLobster's had enough of it and is just going to go for it. This is going to be an expensive bust if he even achieves the bust. Being on a ramp when there's siege tanks behind it, that was nasty. that was not a pretty engage. So Crimson holds that pretty handily, but is roughly a mile behind, should be further behind had SpaceLobster not sort of spent so much of their attention on what was happening here and had continued to build. Now, with that said, Crimson has got this expo up and mining, so actually not as crazy behind as you might think. And army-wise, I don't know. A lot of the supply for SpaceLobster is tied up in medevacs. Now that said, there are 3 siege tanks here, and once these siege tanks, 5 siege tanks. Yeah, don't go in there, Crimson. Don't go in there. But a sneak around the back and a cheeky drop would be awesome. What we got in production here, I see the Ghost Academy. Are there ghosts on the map? None. Is there a nuke in production? No. So yes, there is. Splendid. So you do need to build the nukes before you can use them, and you definitely need to build the ghosts as well. So there is going to be a ghost coming out. I don't know if Cloak has been sorted. Yeah, you don't. That is not the way to play this. That was an expensive loss. And actually, that having just happened, Crimson might just feel like they can push forward from here. They can certainly get to the end of this bunker and deal with that. And no, SpaceLobster's moving down. Oh, but a nuke scares Crimson away. So the nuke is a good defensive nuke, but SpaceLobster, you have to use that defensive nuke to move your siege tanks forward into a better position. Now that this is, I was about to say now that this is surely saturated, but it just isn't, yeah, so I don't know. Both players have kind of just stopped on 40 workers, and that's kind of all right, I suppose. Or at least it would be for SpaceLobster if those workers were actually mining off more than one mineral patch. So SpaceLobster's essentially got 8 workers mining here and 2 here, because there's none here. So income wise, they're about to drop into the toilet. Another kind of poke at the front door. Siege tanks just kind of inching forward, and having just a ring of tanks here and preventing your opponent moving out is great. You can just leave them there, leave a small force there, and then go about your business, tech up into whatever it is you want to tech up into. The fusion core is done, but we haven't seen any BCs yet, but they are in production. So, I tell a lie, there are BCs right here. That is my cat. That is one of the cats anyway. So this is, look, SpaceLobster's got 1 million siege tanks. Siege tanks can't shoot up. So while siege tanks are great units, they're not much cop against battle cruisers. And the battle cruisers, I think, have got Yamato. I saw people doing stuff. Oh no, I tell a lie, they totally do. But nevertheless, these 2 more BCs are going to jump in and park above this. But fighting Marines isn't really what they're good at. What you want to do is stand back with those BCs and use the Yamato cannons to take out the siege tanks, or fly around mineral lines and harvest workers. The key strength of the BC is that it can shoot while it's moving. So you keep it moving, you don't stay still. Marines and stuff cannot shoot while they're moving. They have to stop and shoot. So if you run from the Marines as they chase you, you're just getting so much free damage. Once you stand still with the BCs, they lose that advantage. And they are big units that take a lot of damage, but their DPS isn't actually that very high. It's mostly about that ability to move and shoot simultaneously. So SpaceLobster coming in with a handful of siege tanks. Hasn't sieged them up just yet, but surely is about to. Please siege them up, please. No, just not gonna. But gonna win anyway, because there's just not enough here for extra MS to defend. Nuke even coming on. The nuke. It's going to get this. Doesn't quite get the BCs. So yeah, Yamato not researched the fusion core needs to be. Yamato cannon is far from a long way away. Once it's plugged on to Yamato cannons, just focusing on Thor or focusing on 7 siege tanks. Great. But as it is, there's just no answer to this. SpaceLobster is still pumping in these siege tanks. Big Daddy Thor is going to go head to head against the BC, and that's not going to pan out for it. So this BC will eventually clean everything up. Now on the other side of the map, there is a BC involved over here cleaning stuff up. I can't really tell. I don't even know. Army supply wise, SpaceLobster is way ahead. Worker wise, Extra MS is way ahead. But SpaceLobster's army supply is deceptive because look how many medevacs that is. Medevacs don't shoot. And siege tanks don't shoot BCs. So I think this is Extra MS again, I think. I just don't see how SpaceLobster can do much about this. I feel like we've in some way snatched defeat from the jaws of defeat. Or perhaps snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. I'm not really sure.